SME on the exchange as a part of the SME Next Orbit program. This is the ninth session of the series, and today we have with us Mr. Ashish Goyal. Mr. Ashish Goyal is the Vice President, Business Development at National Stock Exchange of India Limited. With more than 25 years of experience, he has developed a thorough knowledge of exchange operations, capital markets, regulatory compliance, RMS, strategic planning, finance, audit, marketing, and business development. He was earlier the whole-time director of Madhya Pradesh Stock Exchange Limited. He is also a chartered accountant from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. The entire agenda of today's session is to understand what goes into the listing of the SMEs, how it's done, and what benefits do the SMEs have through the listing. Ashish, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I hand over the session to you.
Okay. Uh, very good evening. Working with PDPU on multiple agendas is a privilege for at National Stock Exchange. NSC extends a very warm welcome to all MSME participants and faculty members from PDPU. Uh, National Stock Exchange over the period of last 25 years has worked for development of financial markets. Uh, in these last 25 years, we have been able to develop the online system for the first time in India. There were a number of initiatives covering all aspects of the industry and economy. And we have been working with MSME on multiple fronts. Very few of them got highlighted, but to assure you, at least more than 50,000 companies from Gujarat, the MSMEs from Gujarat, are participating on NSE platform in multiple ways. So basically, our topic is restricted to listing on National Stock Exchange for MSMEs, but I would like to give a brief on various platforms that we have for the listing. So let me share my presentation with you. Okay. I think everybody can see my presentation now.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah. So as I was telling you, we have multiple initiatives for MSMEs to work with National Stock Exchange or National Stock Exchange platform. Many of you not be knowing about it, but NSE is ranked number one derivative exchange in the world. We are among the top three exchange in terms of number of trade executed. So next, say 40-45 minutes, whatever you are going to listen, all these platforms are very much available. I am representing National Stock Exchange. Each and every word that I say has a lot of meaning attached to it. So please be very focused for next 35-40 minutes, and I will take you through multiple platforms which can facilitate you in terms of your financial alternatives for the MSMEs for raising funds. So the first platform that we have on NSE for MSMEs and corporates is the SMA listing. This platform we started in 2012. I will take you through details of this platform. We have more than 210 companies listed on this platform. Many of them are coming from Gujarat. An incremental model. So normally people talk about eligibility criteria, but if you have exponential business plan, if any of the MSME attending today has an exponential business plan for companies who have scalable business opportunities. So if you have a business which can be scaled from say Gujarat to say the Western India to the entire India and even for international businesses, and if you have a sound financial statement, exponential business plan, scalable business opportunity, and sound financial statement. If you have all the three, we have the platform for MSME listing. We have raised more than 3,300 crores on this platform for MSMEs. MSMEs have found incremental benefit in terms of visibility, in terms of credibility, in terms of governance, in terms of finance, in terms of business growth. So today I'm going to take in detail on the MSME listing. The second platform we have is treasury and investments. So many of the MSMEs have surplus funds which they have for a long term horizon or a short term horizon. We have all alternatives available in terms of your short term and long term investment need, in terms of debt, equity, mutual fund, exchange traded fund, liquid fund, government, GSEC, treasury bills. Everything is available on NSE platform. You can just connect with us and we can facilitate your short term and long term investment need. The third model, which is very much available with NSE, is the RXL platform. This platform is relatively new. We call it Receivable Exchange of India Limited. It's an exchange entirely, a platform developed in collaboration with SEDBI. It's an internet-based trading platform for bill discounting. Traditionally, MSMEs have a lot of challenges in terms of managing their working capital requirement. In these pandemic times, uh, the receivables are stuck and you are logged with lot of data. The only alternative that you have is going to your bank and having a book debt limit. Now we have an internet based trading platform, internet based platform for bill discounting. You get the best of the best available rates. Around 35 institutions participate in the auction. The process is very simple. If you have supplied, say, for example, if you have supplied goods worth a crore rupees to any of the bigger company, for the understanding benefit, we may take it as say in GNFC, and you have supplied, you have a confirmed invoice from them, accepted invoice from them. What you have to do is you have to upload the invoice on RXL platform. The moment you upload the invoice on the RXL platform, the buyer party, say GNFC, accepts the invoice on that internet platform, and immediately the auction process start. You won't believe there are more than 20 PSU banks, there are foreign banks, there are factored NBFC who participate uh, in getting your bill discounted. They bid for the bill, and finally, when the bills get discounted and you confirm to a particular financer, then you get the money in just T plus 1 day. That means within say next 36 hours, you will get the money in your account. The best possible alternative, a single time registration on RXL, Receivable Exchange of India Limited platform, and you can discount as many bills as possible on this platform. The best part of this platform is the financiers are looking at the profile of the buyer, because after 60 days or 30 days, whatever is the date, the duration of the bill, the financier has to collect the money from the buyer. I mean, in this particular case, the GNFC. So basically here the credit rating of the buyer comes into the picture, which essentially is on the higher side since they represent a bigger platform, bigger corporates, and you get the best of the rate. Even going to the extent that this platform helps MSME in a very big way. If suppose at the end of 68 day GNFC is not able to make the payment, the financiers have no recourse against the MSME. They can go against the buyer, that is GNFC, and they cannot go against any of the MSME who has got the bill discounted. A very good opportunity. This platform is finding incremental benefits to all MSME companies. This platform supplements their working capital requirement over and above their banking limits. There is no collateral required, one time documentation, and you can discount as many bills as possible. We would definitely like to connect with you on this particular platform and take this platform into detail. Any of you, we will have our details shared on the chat system over here, and you can connect with us. Our details are there, very much there with PDPU also. We can connect and work towards your bill discounting requirements. So these are the three platforms: the MSME platform, listing platform, the treasury and investment platform, then the third one being RXL platform. The fourth platform is currency hedging. A lot of MSMEs are involved in exports and imports, and as you know, the forex is quite volatile. We have a very transparent platform. Traditionally, companies go to the bank, and the bank get bills discounted. Banks do have different rates depending on the buyer's profile or the exporters or importers profile. But at NSE, we are doing it for n number of people across the country. All exporters and importers essentially have to get their bill discounted discounted if they don't want to have any exposure on forex. And we have this platform in place, highly transparent, easy to access, and we offer very competitive rates, a very transparent mechanism. So if you are an exporter or an importer, please do connect with us. We can plan your currency hedging, and I can assure you there is a lot of saving in terms of money and time involved once you access this currency hedging platform. We have a dedicated team, even if you are based in Gujarat or elsewhere in India. We can connect with you, we can guide you on this currency hedging platform, and it can work incrementally for you. A number of companies are already facilitated through this currency hedging platform. The fifth platform that we have on NSE is the interest rate futures. So many of the MSME are stuck with high rate of interest in terms of their bank borrowings. So if you feel that rate of interest are going down, we have this platform for you where you can hedge your interest rates, and de facto you can make savings out of the high rate of interest that you are paying on loans. A very incremental platform. It has a lot of technical things. One need to understand this before taking any position in the interest rate futures. Together with PDPU, we will be very happy to facilitate you on these platforms. The sixth platform, the last one that I'm going to take in brief, is the electronic bidding platform. So ideally, when we talk of debt for MSME, we think about banks. Am I right? But government is of the opinion that exchange platform should not be used only for raising equity but also for raising debts. So we have this electronic bidding platform for you. It has more than 400 large investors, the QIB, non-QIB, and arrangers. A very transparent platform, a bidding platform where interest gets finalized based on the bidding given by the lender. You can raise debt on this platform. Many of the corporates have already accessed this platform, even to the extent that very recently we have done fundraising for Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation of around 200 crores on this platform. A very qualitative platform for raising debt. Traditionally, MSME promoters only think of bank, but if you have the right profile, if you have the right balance sheet, and if you have a business which can be a business plan which can be very well narrated to those lenders, we have this electronic bidding platform for you, which can facilitate you in terms of raising your debt. So these are the six platforms. Again, I'm going back. The first one is SME listing platform. The second one is treasury and investment platform. The third one is RXL platform for bill discounting. The fourth one is currency hedging platform. Then we have the interest rate futures platform, and finally the electronic bidding platform, which is ideal for raising of debts. These are the six platforms. We have been working with a lot of MSMEs. I should compliment PDPU for organizing such a program for specifically targeting at MSMEs, and for an education institute to organize a program of this scale and this size is quite an achievement in its own way. So these six platforms are available. Now let us discuss about the platform, the topic for the day, that is listing on stock exchange. So let me start my presentation, equity capital raising for MSMEs. So if you are an MSME, as I was telling you, with incremental business plans. So whenever we talk to MSME promoters, most of them have a lot of plans, especially in Gujarat. When we meet MSME promoters, they might be having a turnover of say 50, 60 crores, but when we talk about expansion, diversification, takeover, mergers, they have plans even for raising 100 crores. So if you have an incremental business plan, an exponential business plan, if you have a scalable business opportunity, when you are approaching public for equity, it is not about having a good business in Gujarat or a commodity or a particular item that you deal in, which is restricted to a particular geography. So if you have scalable business plan, scalable opportunity in terms of your product, in terms of your business, which can be scaled from Gujarat to say Western India to entire India, even to international, we have this platform where you can raise debt, equity on the platform. And finally, if you have sound financial statement, that is quite a prerequisite. because equity capital from investors will not come unless and until you have a good, very decent financial statement. So when we talk of eligibility from the regulatory perspective, the norms are quite lenient. Government has been very forthcoming. Earlier to 2012, only companies who wanted to raise 1000 crores or 500 crores or even more than that were allowed to access the platform. In 2012, government created a special task force, and the task force gave the recommendation that all bigger companies in 2012 were essentially MSME company, and over a period of time, through public equity, they have been able to create bigger businesses, larger businesses for themselves and for the economy. So with this in mind, government allowed MSME companies. Till that time in 2012, smaller companies were not allowed to access stock exchange platform for public equity. So in 2012, government decided that we should allow some quality MSMEs to raise funds from the public in terms of equity and take their business to the next level through this equity participation. So the entire theme behind this particular model was of a very positive side when government made a stipulation. Regulatory wise, there are essentially 4 to 5 norms. The first one being the company should be greater than 3 years old. So if you are an MSME company with a track record or a history of more than 3 years, you can access this platform. You should have a positive cash accrual in any of the 2 years out of the last preceding 3 years. So when I say cash accrual, it doesn't even mean profit. It's on in a layman's language, you can call it profit before depreciation. So even government has gone to an extent where they have not stipulated any profitability criteria for companies to access MSME platform on exchange. Even cash accrual would do, profit before depreciation would do. So if you have cash accruals in any of the 2 years out of the preceding 3 years, you can access this platform. The paid up capital of the company should be less than or equal to 25 crores. For an MSME companies, this criteria is not that stringent. Most of the MSME companies have a paid up capital of less than 25 crores. The net worth is positive. The net worth of the company should be very positive or should be positive in order to be eligible for stock exchange listing. Many of the MSME promoters do ask us what is the turnover prescribed or the revenue prescribed by the government to make us eligible for stock exchange listing. Government has not prescribed any revenue criteria for stock exchange listing. So if you have a company greater than 3 years old, if you have a company with positive cash accrual in any of the 2 years out of the last preceding 3 years, and if you have a paid up capital of less than 25 crores and a positive net worth, you are eligible for stock exchange listing. Okay. Uh, it's not a very long drawn process. Of course, it requires a lot of paperwork, some things on governance, and something on some certain things on company law matters, and then you can have a company listed on the stock exchange. So essentially, the listing mechanism spreads into 5 steps. One is you have to convert your private limited company into a public limited company. Even if you have a partnership company or a proprietorship company, subject to some guidelines, the track record of 3 years of the proprietorship or the partnership can be considered if you want to plan to list your company on the stock exchanges. There are definite provisions in the company law. Any of the company secretary or chartered accountant can advise you on this. Company law expert can advise you on this. And even for a proprietorship or a partnership or a private limited company, this platform, this method of converting into a public limited company is very much available. Subsequent to that, you have to appoint a merchant banker. This is the second step that we have. The merchant banker does the due diligence. He verifies your all agreements, he verifies your all financial statement, he verifies your all audit reports, he examines all your critical document including your banking limits and your uh, property agreement, your registration, your tax compliances. He does his due diligence and prepares a DRHP, what we call as draft red herring prospectus. Then he submits it to the exchange. The exchange gives an approval. Then you have to file with registrar of companies, and finally the listing happens. There have been instances where we have been able to list company in a matter of 85 to 90 days. It depends upon the readiness of the promoter, the readiness of the documents that are required for due diligence. But we have a lot of experience working with 210 plus companies, and in our experience, this this particular exercise can be done very instrumentally, very mechanically, and we can complete it. There have been instances where companies have started from scratch and have completed in a matter of 100 days. So requirements are there, but they are not very stringent. And even you can see if any of you are very well averse with financial markets, here the SEBI approval is not required. So government has given a mandate for larger companies, SEBI approval is required. For MSME companies, stock exchange gives the approval, final approval, and companies go for listing. So government has been quite lenient in terms of the regulatory requirement, eligibility requirement, in terms of the process that is there in terms of MSME listing on stock exchanges. There are n number of benefits once you get listed on the stock exchange. To discuss a few of them with you. Once you get listed on the stock exchange, okay, you get a very high level of visibility across financial markets, across business community, in front of investors. The moment you Google, the first thing that will appear subsequent to listing is you are listed on National Stock Exchange. Once you get listed, your name will be there on more than 2 lakh trading terminals across India with more than 35,000 independent locations. Even if you give an advertisement in the newspaper, people have very limited memory to remember those. But once you are listed on the stock exchange, you are showcased in front of people for your life. Our website is accessed by n number of people, n number of international businesses, investors, the larger community. Everything is visible about your company in the same way as good as Reliance is being shown. So we promise highest visibility, higher visibility of the businesses once they're listed on the stock exchange. In terms of credibility, so most of the MSME company goes for certifications in terms of their quality standards. But once you are listed on the stock exchange, a bigger credibility unfolds in terms of your financial governance, in terms of your process, in terms of your corporate governance. The credibility attached to public equity fundraising from stock exchange ensures the various stakeholders in your company, right from your vendors, right from your dealers, right from your clients, right from your bankers, right from your even to the extent of your employees. Listing agreement compliances ensures lot of credibility in terms of governance, in terms of financial reporting, which gives a very positive note, credible note in terms of the people who are dealing with you. In terms of opportunities, when we talk of growth opportunities, and we can group them into two categories. One is organic growth, the second one is inorganic growth. So when I talk of organic growth means essentially you take a loan, then you put up your business factory, and then you put up take another loan and you put up another factory, and it goes on like that. When we talk of inorganic growth, it is in terms of mergers, in terms of acquisition, in terms of takeover. This is how you can have an exponential business plan. But if you are looking at these sorts of opportunity, the best thing that can come up for you is listing on stock exchange. So even in terms of good quality employees, now MSMEs do complain to us that we are not able to attract the right talent to work for our company. But once you are listed, there are n number of things which an employee gets an insurance, even the ESOP. The package of the employees can be in terms of in terms of equity and in terms of cash payables. So all in all, you get an very good opportunities. Once you get listed on the stock exchange, the raising of funds unfolds in a very big way, not only from the public, but from institutions, from mutual funds, from foreign institutional investors, from HNIs. Unless and until you get listed, these doors will not open for you. But once you get listed, this entire there is lot of money in the system waiting for good quality investment opportunities. There is a lot of money, I can assure you. But the essential criteria which shareholders are looking at is exponential business plans, scalable. Again, I'm repeating for the benefit of all the MSMEs who are participating today. Essentially, the investors look at exponential business plans, scalable business opportunity, and sound financial statement. With these three perquisites, things are quite clear, and you can have multiple things rolling out for you in terms of listing. Then the question comes about valuations. So many of the MSME promoters, incidentally, they should have a better understanding, but they have very limited understanding on the valuation side. It's not about making money all the time or making profits. If you have scalable business, uh, not to name, but still, whatever is in the public domain, many of you might have heard that Flipkart was taken over by Walmart for a whopping 1 lakh crore. Flipkart was making losses. In spite of that, it got a very huge valuation. Stock exchange listing is the mechanism where you can essentially have a very good valuation exercise in terms of your last, say, 20, 25 years effort, your scale of business, your vendor's profile. Lot of things are attached to the business, which can bring your valuations to a very significant level. It's not about profitability alone, it's about size and scale of your business that also matters. So exchange listing does promises to unlock the valuation and facilitate you in terms of your business growth. So right from mergers, acquisitions, right from higher visibility on Google, NSE platform, right from raising of funds from public, mutual funds, institutional investors, HNI, right from getting good high caliber employees, right from opening up mergers and acquisitions opportunity, right from having an appropriate valuation for your business, all these taken together, right from the credibility aspect which you enjoy subsequent to listing, all these benefit come together to facilitate in terms of your business growth. So as I was telling you, we have we have as of now 213 companies on the stock exchange. We have raised 3,281 crores. The average size of the issue has been around 15.5 crores. We have as many as 19 sectors. When I say sectors, we have listed company from textile, pharmaceutical, IT, every of the all manufacturing sector, chemical, every sector has been very well represented. This exchange model is not a very restrictive model. We have listed almost companies from all types of sectors on this platform. Incidentally, we are speaking, we are there from Gujarat, and Gujarat is ranked number one. As you can see, out of the 213 companies, we have 68 companies from Gujarat, which is ranked number one in India in terms of number of companies listed. Even if you go through the list, there are states like Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka. They have not been able to do much as far as number of listed companies are concerned. Gujarat government has been very proactive in facilitating companies to move to raise funds from the public. They have promised an incentive of 5 lakh rupees, 25% of the expenditure incurred, or 5 or maximum rupees 5 lakh to all MSME companies going for stock exchange listing. So this is quite incremental where our state government is helping you in terms of subsidizing you, you can call it, and incentivizing you in terms of rupees 5 lakh if you plan for stock exchange listing. Very recently, government has taken up a mandate where they are planning to invest. Even central government has this initiative in place where they are planning to invest in MSME companies in order to instill confidence and to work with MSMEs for the larger growth. A lot of schemes have come up from government, and my request to all the MSME promoters present today to work along with us and let us explore all these benefits which government is trying to give. So very recently, government has created around 10,000 funds with a corpus of 10,000 crores. Ultimately, it will translate into 50,000 crores. Government is encouraging MSMEs to take part to list on stock exchanges, even to the extent of equity infusions. This was the initiative which was announced. It is in a quite mature stage. It is not very far when we will hear that the government has take up a stake in this in a particular MSME companies which is planning to go for listing in the stock exchange. So there are a lot of incremental benefits. Again, I'm repeating for the MSME entrepreneurs, if you have an exponential business plan, if you have a scalable business opportunity, you can connect with us. Together, we can plan funds raising from the public, which can ultimately translate to equity being taken up by mutual funds, HNIs, investors, and a lot of them. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Again, for the benefit of all the people present over here, NSE has 6 platforms. One is MSME listing, where we can facilitate your listing journey. We have treasury and investment, where we can plan your short-term and long-term fund deployment. We have an RXIL platform, which where you can get your bill discounted electronically in a very transparent and a very most competitive rate of interest. We have a currency hedging platform, especially for exporters or importers, where they can hedge their exchange, their forex obligations in a very transparent and competitive rates. We have an interest rate derivative platform where they can work for on higher debt rate of interest. We have an electronic bidding platform where they can raise debt through private placement. So all these platforms are very much available to all MSMEs. They are being used by all MSMEs, and my request to all MSME promoters and students, faculty present over here, please do connect MSMEs to us. We would like to work with them. We would like to facilitate them in terms of their fundraising exercises and other financial market mechanisms where they can save money. So I have tried to keep it my presentation brief so that we can have a few questions which I'm very eager to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Participants, if you have questions, you can start asking it, uh, or if you can also type in the chat box. Sir, one of the question is what whether the compliances for an SME increases post listing. So if you can throw some light on what kind of compliances are there post listing of an SME on an exchange.
Essentially, when you are working towards raising of funds or equity from the public, you are subjected to lot of listing compliances. But essentially, what you need is a mechanism to work on these compliances. It's mandated that you need to have a company secretary on your payroll to complete those compliances. I can assure you that there is a bit of paperwork involved, but government has been so specific on compliances that the company on the main board, the bigger board like Reliance and ITC and the bigger companies, they are subjected to different level of compliance, and MSME promoters with limited bandwidth in terms of professional management, in terms of compliance, have been given a very nominal compliances mechanism. Many of you might have heard of quarterly results to be published by listed companies. Here, government has been so specific that it would be very challenging for MSME companies to publish quarterly results. So they have mandated that half-yearly results are to be published. So yes, definitely compliances comes into the picture, but I have not met a single promoter who has complained about compliances subsequent to listing. So rest assured, we work with promoters, we guide them. There is an entire listing team which facilitates. I have my colleague Chetan also here who works with MSME companies on compliances, and we in and out we support companies on compliances. Compliance is definitely there, but nothing to be bothered about.
Thank you, sir. Um, so the other question is whether it is possible for startups to raise funds from exchange. The SMEs or MSMEs who are still startups. So, is there a possibility for them?
Basically, when you talk about raising equity from the public, okay, the stock exchange mechanism essentially works for company who has an existing track record. So if we talk about normal listing, it is essentially for people who have a track record and who have existing business in place. But when we talk about startup, we have a technology platform where startups can also list. This platform is a bit stringent platform, so I didn't take up that details of that platform. Government is reviewing the guidelines based on observations given by startup and the stock exchanges. We are working towards that platform. We have a platform for startup, but the guidelines on the startup platforms are incrementally high. So we are working with government, and very soon we will come up with a platform where startups can also list. If you have a very specific thing in mind as to if my startup become eligible or not, you can just approach her. Our details are being shared on the chat, so you can connect with us. We can guide you on that.
So, just an extension to that same question. Is it possible for even the partnership firms to get listed, or it has to be compulsorily a private limited company?
A company can go for listing only and only when it is a public limited company, not even a private limited
Okay.
company. The statute governing listing, that is the company law, mandate that only companies which are public limited companies can raise fund from public. So there is one chapter, if I remember right, it's chapter 25 in the Companies Act, which allows partnership firm to also register as a public limited company. So you have to get in hold of company law expert who can guide you. Yes, partnership firms can also get listed subsequent to become a public limited company as per company law provisions.
One another question is, um, so once an SME has moved towards being being further going to, if it is eligible for main board, so how is it possible for a company which is listed on SME to move to the main board, and if yes, then how to do it?
Uh, we have mandated, the stock exchange mechanism has mandated that company who have completed 3 years on the stock exchange can migrate to the main board of the stock exchange listing subsequent to the fact that they should have a market cap of greater than 25 crores.
Okay.
So the mechanism is in place. Your governance, your comms should be in order, and you have a market cap of greater than 25 crores. You are eligible for moving to the, and your paid up capital should be greater than 10 crores. Then you become eligible for main board also. And to tell you the numbers, we have more than 40 companies which were essentially listed as MSME who have moved to main board of the stock exchange.
Then there is one question, which is, uh, what are the costs of coming with an IPO, of getting listed?
Uh, As far as fees to NSE is concerned, we hardly have a fees of say 25,000 per annum for an MSME company to get listed on the stock exchange. Apart from the initial listing fees, which runs into a lakh rupee or something like that. But the main thing is fundraising. So it depends on the profile of the company, the sector which are in high demand. If suppose you are from a pharmaceutical sector, the cost of raising fund is relatively less as compared to a company which is in textile sector. So and depending on your balance sheet profile, also your scale of business, your vendors profile, your track record of profitability, lot of factors come into play as far as cost of listing is concerned. So there are costs can be divided into two parts. One is the merchant banker cost, and the second one is the fundraising cost. So there are a lot of differentials involved. You have to sit around with us and with the merchant banker and work out the cost mechanism. Upfront, I cannot guide you on the cost factor, But rest assured, things are in right shape, and more than 210 companies are listed on the stock exchange as of now.
There is one more question coming, which says, how different is the NSE platform from the BSC, similar BSC startup platform?
Both the platforms are same. They are approved by SEBI. There are some technical things involved, technical criteria is involved. So I never compare between two stock exchanges, but now since the question has come, I should guide you. I should be telling you that NSE has a market share of more than 90% in cash market. The entire market share in India on equity stock exchange. We have a market share of more than 98% on equity derivatives. So there are some technical criterias which are different. Otherwise, both the exchanges have the platform, and both are approved from SEBI. The catch here is you cannot get listed on both the exchange platform. You have, for MSME listing, you have to opt for only one exchange, as against the main board platform where you can simultaneously list on both exchanges.
Uh, so the one well, if the MSMEs want to approach for listing, where should they contact? If you can guide for that as well,
Yeah,
or for further guidance if they need any help.
yeah. So on the chat, I'm giving you our email ID. Okay, I'm just typing my email ID. Uh, you can just send across a brief profile of yours, and this is my email ID, and I'm sharing my colleague's email ID also with you. So you can just send us a brief profile of what you have been doing, and no financials are required. Just share your contact details. We can connect with you.